What's up, tubers, and welcome to part 2 of how to mod a PS3 controller. In this particular video, we're going to be taking this controller apart. I believe you've kind of seen it apart before, but we're going to completely disassemble it, and then we're going to discuss how to find the contact points to install a center LED mod. What you will need to take it apart is a good screwdriver. I'm using a Cobalt, and I am using a size PH1 Phillips head, so that's a Phillips head 1 screwdriver. And let me zoom out a little bit so I can show you. You know what the points are if you've taken this apart before. I just had some trigger extensions on it. You know what the points are if you've taken one of these apart before. You've got, let me show you. You got point 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I'm going to take this apart and I will show you what we have. The only tricky thing about taking apart any PS3 controller, as most of you have experienced, is putting it back together correctly and opening it without breaking the little clasp that's right in there. And there's a trick to that, and you need to use your thumb to pry the back, put pressure on the back, and then pop it up. So you push in and lift up. So I always think a thumbs up when you're taking apart a PS3 controller. Take your time. Do not break your controller. I can't stress that enough. Take your time and you'll be alright. Don't scratch your controller up either. As long as you take your time, you should be fine. And don't get super frustrated. There's tons of times my controllers have not worked out the way I wanted them to work out initially, but I kept going and it did. Another important thing is make sure, like usually I use a little water cap or something, but make sure you keep all your screws together as you're doing this. So I'm going to show you this technique I told you. Remember, thumbs up. You are going to, let me adjust this just a little bit. I don't have my arm on my tripod. You're going to push in right here, and you'll hear a little pop like you just heard. Then you can grab one side and lift up, and once you lift up, the controller's open. And you want to, on the newer bodied PS3 controllers, you want to finagle this off, because this piece is one piece. This used to be a separate insert slot on the older controllers. So you got the back, nothing eventful there. Generally, if you're going to install rapid fire buttons, you want to install it on one side here on the back, and you're gonna install a mode switch somewhere under one of these tabs. On the newer rapid fire kits, you don't need to do all of that. They're all internal, so there is no external modification. As I told you, I'm going to take this completely apart. These just pop off pretty easy. These just slide out. I'll show you on this side. Oh shit, it just hopped off. That one pops off. This one slides out. And take your time and everything will be fine. There's one more screw that you have to deal with for these controllers. The next thing I would do is get a firm grasp on the battery here, pull it out. Another cool thing I like about the newer ones is that the battery tray is one piece. It used to be a tray and the damn battery, so I like how they made that one piece. Way to go, Sony. The next thing you have to do is this one screw that's right here holding the PCB board down. Now the board has changed a lot from what they used to be. These also, the rumble motors used to be screwed down. Now they're just snaps. So what I do to my screwdriver is flip it on the flathead side, and I take that flathead and I just go in here and I hit that little locking mechanism. It's just a little piece of plastic that snaps in, and I snap it out on both sides so I can get that rumble motor out, and I do that on both sides here. And we'll get all this out before we go any further. These are out. I lay it down, I grab it by the rumble motors, and I use my fingers to pull this out. Ta-da! Next thing I do is remove the analog caps and they pop right off. I mean, there's just nothing to them. I've got a set of clear ones somewhere close by that I'm not using. Somebody asked in the video why I'm not using the clear ones, and the rubber ones just feel better than these clear ones. There's a side-by-side comparison, or maybe I can hold them up. They're about the same, and these have indentions, but I just like the way the rubber ones feel better. That's the only reason why I'm using them, and I like comfort over modding any day. Here's the button pads for, this is for the face buttons, this is for the D-pads, and as I told you in the previous video, and it's easier to identify on these. Everywhere you see a black spot on either one of these, that's got to touch this board, and where it touches this board is where you want to that's what makes the connection, so your controller knows what to do. Now let me stand by, guys. Let me run in the other room. I'm gonna grab another board that's older so I can kind of show you the difference, because that's important in this particular lesson, because somebody specifically asked about the difference in the PCB boards. This is a newer, not brand new, but November-ish board. Look at this one. You notice there's no hole there. You've just got your points that you have to press down. Look at this one. This is the old look touch film. It's got a big circle right there. You can put your LED light through it and everything works. So what we got to do, and this will be my first time actually doing this on a newer body control, is figure out how to make this function the same way this functions.